Welcome to Inside Get Right Property, your trusted real estate partner. Our next guest is Mr. Rajesh Kumar Sahu, Project Head, Bren Park City. Bren Park City, South Bangalore is one of the most anticipated and talked about project. So amidst the beauty of nature, let's dive into Bren Park City. Before we dive into today's episode, let's talk about finding your perfect home without the usual real estate headaches. Welcome to Get Right Property, your personal real estate advisory platform. We've been doing one thing incredibly well, guiding people straight to the right property, matching their exact needs, and locking in the absolute best deals on the market. At Get Right Property, you get direct builder pricing with zero hidden fees and total transparency. If you book your property through us, we'll gift you the latest iPhone as a special thank you. Hello, sir.
Hi, Ananya. Hi.
So first of all, congratulations
Thank you so
on
much.
Bren Park City, the miniature, the project, and right now we are here at Bren Park City, and it's looking very interesting.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And secondly, I would wish and extend gratitude on behalf of our founder and CEO of Get Right Property, Mr.
Right.
Rahul Vishwakarma.
Right.
Thank you so much for having us here, and it's great to sit across you and have this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, Bren Park City, the location, and what was the vision behind choosing this locality, and especially what made the whole team decide, okay, this is the place we are doing our next landmark project?
Okay, so it's basically this project is one of the very interesting, the project that is coming up in this locality. First thing is, because see, if you go back to the history of this locality, especially electronicity, the phase 1, phase 2, this entire Hosur road built basically. With that, when this area was not a very fertile land in terms of the vegetations, that is the reason the government came up with the initial settlement of industrial area, like Jigni industrial area, Homsandra industrial area, and this used to be the outskirt of the city then. But now that if you see, the city has expanded to a large extent, and later the IT movement started, and the Infosys, Wipro, this kind of company were the initial settlement of the IT corridor in this area.
Yeah.
Wherein over time, more than 50 odd companies are well established now. There are more than close to about 1 million people, or more than that, is actually working in this vicinity, in fact. So for this kind of category, the land area that it was available for the industrial development and all, it was initial settlement. But later the residential movement started picking up because of the workforce that is going to work in that territory, right? So with that, there are so many initial setup of apartment which came up with very traditional apartment, maybe low-rise building, or probably a building with a few amenities and all these things. But nobody has thought about, this is not a very fertile land then. That is the reason they came up with the idea of, industrial development or the IT development and all. So now, if you are becoming a resident in this area, I think it is very important for you to have the greenery around that, because that is your main lungs of that, area that we are talking about. And this project came up with that seed of thought. So we are creating a 16-acre development, about 14 to 16-acre kind of development. With this, I think the first 10-acre is what we are likely to launch now, which already we have received the RERA, and we already done a soft launch in the past, and we are going full-fledged now. So this is a project which bringing up that 9 theme garden that we are bringing here in this property, and this is the project with 73% of open area, and with a lot of garden, lot of different parks that we are actually coming up with in this particular project. So it's a very beautiful project to know. I will probably elaborate you more details when you're talking about the essence of this entire concept.
Sure.
Yeah.
At Get Right Property, your trusted real estate partner, there's zero brokerage, no hidden charges, and you pay the builder's price. And guess what? If you book a property through Get Right Property, you're going to get a latest iPhone as a complimentary gift, saying you welcome home. So the project says close to everything,
Right.
but still cocooned from the world.
Right.
So it is located in the Hulimangala Road here in Electronic City Phase 1. So how would the buyers understand the commute when it comes to traveling from their home to
Right.
their workplaces?
Yes. Okay. See, the location is actually one of the bigger advantages for this particular project, because the concept that we are bringing here, we are trying to give you 9 parks here in this property. We are trying to give you a low-rise community with very less density. Just 600 apartment we are building in the entire 10 acres setup, right? So it's a exclusive 3 BHK community is what we are creating. But there are a couple of 1 BHKs also we have fit into that particular project. And with that, if you see, the location is not very far at the same time and not very close at the same time, right? So we are just about 1 kilometer away from the Niladri main street, where we are exploring to different fashion areas, or if you're talking about different restaurants are already there, good hospitals are there, which is hardly about 900 meters from this project. At the same time, we are not getting that hustle or the traffic on the right open. You get out of your door and you see the traffic. That is also not the case here, because it's a very very calm environment that we have. So this is actually adding a lot of value to this particular project. Secondly, this area, though it is distance-wise seems to be a little far from the main city line, but if you see the connectivity from here, if I have to go to Silk Board, I can reach Silk Board in just 30 minutes. Because I do travel, I stay in BTM, so I do travel very often. So it's my regular day, right? Like for me. So it takes hardly 25 to 30 minutes. I can go to the city center. If I'm talking about I have to go to different outskirts of the city, say like I have to go to Banagata Road or Kanakpura Road or Mysore Road for that matter, I can take this nice road connectivity, which is also hardly some 3-4 kilometers from here. You can actually exit to many different roads that we are talking about. At the same time, this is also well connected to the futuristic infra that is coming up around this area. Like we have STRR, which is almost the second phase is almost getting ready. The first phase is already open for about 280 kilometers. I mean the 73 kilometers. So that's a 280 kilometer ring road which is going to join very close proximity to this project. So location has a great advantage, and secondly, Bangalore as a city, if you see, it's expanded. It's huge, right? If you talk about a person working in North Bangalore and person working in South Bangalore, they cannot find a place where you can just go and work and come back. That is going to be the major challenge. With that, I would say the metro connectivity is going to be very helpful. That is, once the Blue Line metro is fully functional, that is going to give that entire lifeline of Outer Ring Road and Whitefield and all that. Right? Now, Yellow Line metro is well connected from our property with about 3 to 4 kilometers maybe. You can actually hit a metro and take the metro to a different part of the city.
Yeah.
But now the longer route is because the Blue Line metro is not functional yet, right? So with that, this is going to be a fantastic connecting factor for many people to have a good lifestyle at the same time, not disconnected from the rest of the world.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, the location and the commute will be an advantage to a lot of people. So there might be a chance where they would want to have a look at Bren Park City. When this is the case, if the demand is more, why did Bren Park City choose more spaces and low density living over vertical establishment? Because that would attract more buyers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it still chose open spaces and low density living. Is there any reason behind it?
See, Bren as a company, if you hear actually the fundamental thought of the company, how it grows, right? And that is the question. It is that question it is. So if I understand Bren as a company, they are not trying to build just skyscrapers around the city. We are not here to actually compete with any top player or any top 5 player or top 10 player. We are actually not in that competition. Honestly, in a real estate, it's all about the product quality that matters, right? Yeah. So we already have the best quality product, which we have already proven in the last 10-15 years time, right? Though the brand has a 30 years, 40 years legacy, but with this brand name Bren, I think we are already there from last 15 years in this industry, right? So with that, we have already proved ourselves in terms of the finest quality and all, right? The amenities part, the quality part, accessibility part. So with that, one common thing that we have always followed throughout the journey is we are trying to create an exclusivity about it. So whenever a person is buying a Bren property, they are going to remember this property for their whole life. That's the kind of legacy we are trying to build here. With the similar concept, the Park City is again one of the very fundamental thought about all of it, with addition towards the contribution to the nature. So with that, I think we are creating a very different kind of project altogether. It is not just another 3 BHK or 4 BHK apartment we are selling in the market. We are selling much beyond that. Like, you are actually, once you be a part of this society, you are indirectly contributing to the, the mankind, you could say. Like, you're actually part of the large community where we are focusing about 9 parks, exclusive 9 parks that we are bringing in. So it's a very different story altogether. So that's what I believe. I have answered your question, or anything that I've missed out, please inform.
Yes, and as you say, they will, their vision is different. They want to give more space, and the Bren as a company thinks differently.
Very differently, yeah.
So At Bren Park City, the units are ranging from 1 BHK and 3 BHK plus study room.
Right.
Who do you think will bring more traction, the IT tech people or long-term investors?
See, this property is actually designed for both the category. It is not just for investor or not just for the end user. So Bangalore as a city, it is a cosmopolitan city. So people come from different states and work here in the city. So always I ask my customer to think not just from an end use perspective, you also need to think it from an investment perspective. What kind of returns that it can fetch you at any different scenario. Say like the customer is going to a different city to work in future, or maybe the school's children have moved to a different city, or anything for that matter, right? So at that situation, how convenient for this property to be opt for a rental or too late or anything that you are talking about, right? So this is when the investments comes in picture. Like this area is well connected with the IT surroundings. There are more than 50 odd companies are in a radius of less than 3 to 4 kilometers in fact. So there are good number of IT people who are working around this society, around this area, and for them to consider Bren Park City as a end use destination, I mean they're resident and walking or cycling to their workplace, I think it is one of the finest option, I would say.
Yeah.
So it is actually helping both the category, and in future it is going to be more than a lifestyle than just a house, right? We are not just buying 2 or 3 BHK, we are actually buying your overall lifestyle. It will define your life is what is going to be.
So they are doing something for a lifetime.
Yes.
So how would you describe the pricing of the property? Because that is one of the biggest concern every buyer will have.
Absolutely.
And Bren Park City being in a very prime location with all such amenities, how would you explain the pricing of the property with the other competing buildings coming around?
Okay. See, pricing is a very sensitive topic for everybody. That is the reason we also as a builder need to understand what exactly we are launching, what should be the pricing for that particular product, and what is the value that we are going to deliver with that particular price the customer is paying for. So with that, all the consideration, Bren is very generous in all that approach, that we actually don't do a competition analysis and decide our price. We don't do that. What we do is we understand what is the value that we are going to create in this society, right? So our pricing metrics may not match. Probably there will be somebody who is selling probably 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees cheaper than us, or there could be players who are selling at least 3 times more than us, or probably, or not 3 times, I would say like 30% is more than us. Right? That is a variations that is always going to be there in the market. All that we are trying to understand here is our pricing with the product that we are offering here is very ideal, and it cannot be, it is not an overpriced product for sure. If you understand the product, then I'm sure it is not an overpriced product, is what we always believe in. Because that's the kind of quality I'm offering here. That is the kind of community that I'm going to create here. And this exclusivity, low density and all this concept, trust me, it is going to be rare, because now if you see, the city is going to expand further. Recently government has came up with new clause about the FSI rules, right? So it's now about 5.2 or something is the FSI that is going to be maintained. So there is going to be much more skyscrapers coming in the future than a low rise, a very decent community, like a lovely community that it feels like a home rather than just an apartment you are living. I think we would call it as a home. That's the kind of product that we are offering. So I'm sure the price that we are offering, so 3 BHK, anyway, it can be disclosed very easily. The price right now at the launch phase, as of July 2026, the price right now, it is at a very low price in the market. We are offering a 3 BHK all inclusive within 1.75 to 1.8 in that range.
Yeah.
And in fact, we are going to run some very attractive campaign for the launch. I would, if somebody is visiting, then definitely they can avail that.
That is something everybody should make a mark of and look forward to.
Right.
Yes, and as we are discussing the price and the community that's going to be built here, the main attraction and the name itself has the Park City.
Right.
9 different parks and such greenery around the house will be something new to Bangalore.
Yes. Yeah.
So why was it a 9 park plan? And every park has its own definition and has its own beauty.
Right.
I guess while creating such project, there would be a very big creative process on the table going on.
Yes.
How did that happen?
So the Park City, the concept of this 9 park is first thing is it is so basically if you understand somewhere in there are many societies these days are coming up, right? So you might have seen mixed development. There are the hotel coming in, there is apartment coming inside the society, there's a mall coming inside the society. So there are so many things that people come up with these days, like the mixed development and the fancy amenities. There are some hundreds of amenities going to be there. But in this society, we wanted to bridge those category, all those category that people would have the requirement as. At the same time, this park theme is something that we are not talking about a landscape. So generally, open space is given 73 or 80% open space, but majority of the landscape are being done with the floral plants. I'm not against floral plant. It is not to take in that way. I'm definitely happy that there are so many native birds also arrive with the floral plants. That is anyway going to be there. But in this property, we are creating a the missed childhood kind of opportunity here. So we are creating mango tree inside we are cultivating mango trees inside this project. We are going to have people tree in this project. So if you remember, these trees, these native Indian trees, has some kind of emotional value which is connected from somebody, like gaon ka ek people ka tree hai. Like that's the kind of mindset that we all grew up with.
Sure.
And talking about the mango trees, like mango has a different kind of emotions for each Indian that we are talking about. So we are going to have a mango tree inside this property. We are going to have native almond trees inside the society. And all these parks are very differently designed with different names and the actual theme of this project. So with that, you are going to actually get connected to the route. And yeah, so that is one thing that we are talking about. The parks are going to connect you to your route. And yes, this 9 parks, because the entire landscape that we are talking about here, there are 6 blocks we have in the first phase. And second phase, we may add about another 2 or 3 blocks maybe in the future. I don't know exact number for that. So with that number of apartments, not that number of blocks, we are going to have small patch of parks all across the city, all across this park city basically. So it's a beauty that we are creating. It's going to be, it's a product going to be remembered. Yeah. And this is going to be one of the prestigious society around Electronicity or around South Bangalore, I would say. Yeah.
So any particular theme park that has become your personal favorite?
Yes, of course, this mango tree thing, that definitely it is. I have a very good childhood memory related to mango trees. I think every Indian would have definitely.
Yes, sure.
But that is something that yes, I feel okay, in apartment society, if you see, you hardly find those kind of species of plants, right?
True.
So yes, those things are well connected. I come from a small village, so obviously I do remember how my childhood around the nature.
Yes.
And if I'm able to get that lifestyle in a society, and yet it is not far from the main city line, then why not? Yeah.
Yes. Get Right Property, your trusted real estate partner. Here you get latest updates, pricing listings, booking assistant, and also an expert who's there to guide you from the start to finish process. So all you have to do is give us a call at 888 444 0963. So we just saw that the clubhouse has a 52,000 square feet area.
Right.
And providing something like this to such community would be very exciting. At the same time, the maintenance takes up a lot. It might be exhausting. So how is Bren taking care of the maintenance and the security? Because it's a society, and with such open spaces, you will have to be more careful and at the same time taking care of the surroundings. So how is it taken care?
Well, see, so it again depends on what category of the amenities that we are trying to provide in a society. So in this society, we are actually encouraging people to stay outdoor rather than just go and play inside the clubhouse. You actually got so much of area here in this society. Just sit around the tree. You can just go into an open gym and walk out there. Your kids are playing next to a tree and next to a modern equipments. Everything is there. We have got multiple courts inside this, right? So though at the same time we have not compromised in the space of the indoor amenities that we are going to provide, because there are so many indoor games which people love to play, and for them they need to have good options for that. So indoor amenities, again, we have fused so many sports amenities into it. There are very useful amenities. I would not say it is going to be a maintenance recurring kind of approach. It is going to be more like a useful amenities that we are going to provide. And every amenities are very well designed. We have got 30 plus amenities in this project with 2 different clubhouse areas. And this clubhouse are also well designed in a way that there is no issue about the visitor parking, or no issue about the dining area, or a cafe that if somebody wants to have a cozy place to work on a weekend. So anything for that matter, like everything we have tried to accommodate inside the society. That's how we have a large 52,000 square feet community. I mean the clubhouse that we have. Along with that, there are so many outdoor amenities are mostly emphasized here.
We also saw that there are a lot of materials and elements that are being internationally brought in here to
Right.
Bren Park City, so that people live such kind of living and the lifestyle is upgraded automatically.
Right.
So with the international supply and the delivery date, how is the brand managing all these things? Because it's not easy to bring something international and at the same time provide it right at the delivery time. So is it going well?
I'm not sure about it actually, because the thing is, what we are going to provide in this property, everything is wide available in the city, because we don't want to provide you something that in later days, anything that not finding anywhere. That is not the main agenda here, because it's a realistic life that you're going to live here, right? So in the society, we are making sure that what kind of quality that going to last. That is the ultimate goal of this company. So that's why Bren is one of the very few company who has their separate wing for the construction R&D, right? So we have something called Brenovation. So wherein we talk about each and every detail about what kind of wall construction that we are going to do. Say like as a buyer, you are working in an IT company, you may not understand looking at a white wall, right? What kind of material has gone inside the construction is very important. From a layman language to translate. It's very how durable that house is going to be. Like for example, if you go to the ancient days, probably the technology was very different. Now we have space constraint. We have so many plumbing lines which are running throughout your house. You have so many electrical lines because we have lot much requirement has added into our life. So with all of it, and the durability is something that we need to consider at every point of time, because house is somebody not buying it for for a short period of time. It's for it's supposed to last basically, right? So with that approach, I think our quality of construction is extremely high end. Like we have every small thing has been very detailedly researched and used in our construction, and that's the reason it is very convenient also. That is again, we are coming back to the point that even the design for that matter, like we have 1600 square feet of 3 BHK house, 1666 square feet of 3 BHK house, right? With that dimension, if I see, it's actually not a very big dimension. It is, say like somebody is constructing 1900, 2000 square feet, obviously your house is going to be much bigger. Your bedroom could be 2 feet bigger than whatever you're getting it here now. But at the same time, it is going to hit your pocket at the same time, right? It is going to cost you more. So we are trying to make sure that it is not a compromise in terms of the quality here. It is the finest product, but it is not a very extra large size house that we're talking about. We have given you a very adequate size. It is basically how big your living room should be, how big your bedroom should be for any human to live in, right? We require that much of minimum space. That has been taken care in our fit outs, our design element. So I think it's all about the fixtures that we provide as a whole product,
So with just 6 low-rise blocks across 10 acres,
Right.
what kind of value appreciation do you see for this project in the coming 5-10 years?
Okay, first thing is this is a low-rise building. I mean, that is going to be there, right? In future, when this surrounding is well developed with maybe many skyscrapers, or maybe there are so many villa communities which is coming up, I think this low-density community is going to be the most beautiful society, because you have so many trees that we have planted now. It's going to be grown up by then, and it is going to be a very beautiful society. I mean, by nature, that's the best part of this kind of society, right? The older the better it is going to look like, actually. So in fact, this value chain is going to be add on, like every year on year it will definitely add on. In the next 5 years, as per the market standard, if you see right now, around 8 to 10% this kind of jump is very common in real estate year on year. There are exceptions has happened like in the past post-COVID era and all this. But looking at the realistic angle, I think around 10% is year on year value will definitely add. And at one point of time when this society is fully done, probably that's the largest jump that usually happens in real estate. With that, what I can see is this area definitely has a command of at least 14,000-15,000 per square feet in a very short period of time. So now we are at somewhere about close to 11,000 per square feet. It's actually very reasonable compared to the market offerings around this area. However, this is the price right now, wherein I think another 5 to 6 years, it can definitely go up to 15,000 plus per square feet.
Yes, sir. Sir, and personally, apart from the location,
Right.
the amenities, and the 73% open green spaces, what else do you think will be an attraction point at Bren Park City? Or what other points do you think the buyer should consider to opt this property?
So it is apart from the locality
Or the open spaces or
Okay.
the amenities. Any other unique point that makes Bren Park City stand out from others?
See, Brain Park City is actually a package of all of it that we are talking about, right? It has a great location, it has a very great product in terms of the amenities and the locality that we are creating here. At the same time, it is not a very density driven project. It's not like 1,000 apartments we are constructing. We're just coming up with just 600 3 BHK apartments, simple. So with that, I think this is the most important thing, that if you see all these things, all these parameters as one element, and considering it as a package, I think this serves well with meeting most of your requirement. Yes, somebody is working in North Bangalore, their life is going to be all around North Bangalore. For them, I would not say this is a product that you should buy for your end use. Probably for an investment, it is a great option. But at the same time, if you're able to manage your travel time, like there is a possibility that you might work in this locality in the future, electronicity, then this is going to bring you that closeness to the nature, closeness to your childhood. So it's a very different memory. It's a different experience we are selling rather than just an apartment. Yeah.
So when Bren Park City is fully occupied,
Right.
what impact do you think this should leave behind?
So contributing to the nature is, I feel, it is a responsibility of all of us, right? In some way, even if you're able to go and plant in some forest in one of your village, it's okay. I mean, you are contributed something from your lifetime. So that is the reason it is more than a community that we are going to create. It is also going to be a prestigious society. It will be looked like a prestigious society because this society has given lot much to the environment. There's a lot of greenery that's going to be part of this society. You are going to be part of the birds that we are talking about. Nowadays, finding a bird in the city also, it's going to be becoming very rare.
True.
So you're going to have so many birds that is going to be it's an ecosystem that we are creating, right? And being a part of that ecosystem is always a contribution. I look into that because this is actually whether a customer who is buying or an investor who is investing, directly or indirectly, they have contributed to this particular idea that we are also building here.
So if a person walks in with a check to book a place, when will he be getting his keys?
Okay, that is basically the possession timeline. See, we are a company who follow rules and regulations very responsibly, I would say. So all the projects of Bren so far, without compromising on quality, unless there is a very different scenario like COVID kind or any kind of pandemic situation is not something in our control. But otherwise, if you see, all the Bren project has delivered on time. With that, this is a low-rise building, first thing. Secondly, our manpower are sufficient to function the entire project and pull it up to the whatever timeline that we are targeting to. So as per the RERA timeline, whatever is there, we are definitely going to meet that. In case there is a deviation, probably in a few months that may happen. That is a very uncertain thing that I don't want to say about it. That is a reality, I would say.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we are very much on time with all the delivery timelines. June 2029 is what we are targeting to complete this project. So it can be before or 6 months before or after. That's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, 14 long years of this journey in real estate and it's still going on. What's the one thing that makes you wake up every day with a smile and go to work?
It's a very interesting thing because I have actually not chosen to get into real estate at my first place. It was my college placement that had happened. I sat for an interview for a real estate company and I joined there. Got selected, then I thought, okay, now that I got a job, let me just see how it looks like. I was initially thinking of staying in this industry for a year or maybe two. Then when I started interacting with people, I mean, that is something that is very different than a 9-to-5 job that we are talking about, any other job.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to a computer, I'm not working on actually hard on an Excel sheet. I'm talking to real humans who are coming to buy one of the fundamental need of their life.
Yeah.
So the stories are different. So that keeps you always, interactive, more alive. And you see the transformation of every locality, every geography that we are talking about. So it's a very interesting job, honestly. I mean, real estate is one of the very interesting jobs to actually hold. But at the same time, you need to be. There are some small minor compromises also, associated with real estate that we don't get, say like weekend holiday.
Yes.
Well, probably we don't get probably a longer holiday compared to any other industry. Like we need to work on a national holiday, or we need to probably not a national holiday. I would say some holidays we need to work. Maybe on a rotational shift we need to work because our customers are going to be busy on those days. So there are few minor things, but overall, if you see the
Big
journey,
picture.
I think it is fun to work with real estate. Yeah.
Yeah. Be it buy, sell, resell, or rent, Get Right Property takes care of everything start to finish. So we take care of everything. Give us a call at 888-444-0963. Thank you so much for your time, sir. It was really wonderful talking to you and getting insights about Bren Park City as well as the real estate today. It was simply wonderful, and we wish best for all your upcoming projects.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, and we wish the best from Get Right Property.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.